Hi everyone, good afternoon to you all. Welcome back to our talk show. It's been a while since we've made another video due to the fact of it being March 15 with a lot of student visas expiring, many people lodging their TR, so it's been a really busy couple of days for us. So now we're finally back to doing our talk show. And for this video, we don't really have a set topic in mind. It's really a broad topic, so we'll be going through a variety of questions for different topics. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the questions. So the first question is student visa related. So can someone who's 18 years old and older still apply as a dependent for a student visa?
Thank you, Jimmy. Hi, everyone. I think that's a very important question, given that many think that once you're 18, you cannot be a dependent on a student visa with your parents. So, as per the policy in place, as long as you are not 23 years of age, as long as you are financially dependent on your parents, and you're not married, you can apply as a dependent, but there's a lot of evidence that needs to be submitted to the department. And we have had cases where a few of them who were 18 years and above have been successfully added as dependents to their parents' visa, primarily student visa. And we also had a case where somebody who was around 20 years old, he was in Bhutan and now he's in Australia. So his parents were here holding a surplus 485 visa, the TR visa, and we had to produce a lot of evidence to the department to show that he's financially dependent on his parents and he's single, he's dependent on a lot of other things besides the financial side of things. So it does work out.
So the next question is, does studying in a regional area help?
So, Jimmy, if you really look at the regional side of things, for example, if we take the subclass 485 visa again, if you study and live in a regional area, for example, Perth, Canberra, you obviously have an advantage where you get that 1 year regional extension TR, which you can apply after your TR visa is granted. So you have like a first TR visa, which you get even if you're not in a regional area, you get that visa, but that 1 year extension you obviously get when you study and live in a regional area. So that's one advantage. Now, if I think of another advantage for your skill migration, you also get 5 points for living in a regional area. So that sort of advantages are in place. Now, again, if you look at the overall visa structure, now it isn't specified very clearly in black and white that staying in a regional area would give you that advantage. But if you really look at the details closely, if you plan to study in a regional area, there's obviously an advantage, not the advantages I mentioned a few seconds back, but if you want to live in a regional area, if you want to study in a regional area, it does help uplift that regional area in the sense that everybody wants to live and study in non-regional area for obvious reasons. It's more developed, more facilities. So when you are actually planning to study in regional areas, it might add a little bit more value to your visa application, because nowadays with a lot of visa refusals happening when somebody moves from one course to another, so there's a lot of you know resistance from the department, like especially when somebody is trying to study another course after finishing one course. So if you plan to do that in a regional area, it might bring in some sort of advantages to you. But see, again, this is not set in stone, nothing black and white, but it's everything that can help package your visa application to become more stronger. So I would say yes, in an indirect way, studying in a regional area, there are advantages.
Okay, so now let's take an example. Let's say that I'm currently a registered nurse. So as I'm a registered nurse, my occupation is in the skilled occupation list. So if like one fine day my occupation was to be removed from the skilled occupation list, what would happen?
And that's a good question. So many people obviously know that there are like skill occupation lists. Now, just to break it down, there are many types of skill occupation lists. There's the medium and long-term strategic skills list. There's the regional occupation list. There's the short-term skill occupation list. And there's another list, which is the core skills occupation list. Now, all the occupations are in these list. Not all, most of them are in this list. And some occupations are like in the medium and long-term strategic skills as well as in the core skills occupation list. So there's like a crisscross of occupations in different lists. Now, what Jimmy mentioned is that registered nurse, for example, registered nurse is in that MLT SSL list. It's in the CSOL list. So if, for instance, in the future, registered nurse or for that matter any occupation gets removed from the list, so which basically implies that you may not be eligible to participate in, say if you're removed from the MLTSSL, that's the short form of medium and long term strategic skills list, then you're not eligible to participate for the 189 visa, which is the skill independent visa. So it sort of limits your participation. And now if it gets further removed from the CSOL list, then you're not also eligible to participate in the skills in demand for it to employ sponsorship visas. So see, it depends. It depends, and if you are in that list, you can participate. If you are removed, you can't. So it happens. Occupations keep on changing. Some occupations stay there for a long time. Some occupations get added. Some occupations get removed.
Okay. Now, this is quite a bit of a broad question. So is Australia still worth it in 2026?
I would say it's worth it. For obvious reasons. It's a nice place to study, live. And, the skill migration opportunities are immense if you have the qualifications, the experience, and even if you have employers backing up for sponsorship, the skill migration system plus the employer-sponsored visas, it's very favorable, I would say. And many Bhutanese have uh, successfully, tapped onto these visas. Now, things are changing. It's getting more strict. Recently on social media, they had like, the recent sudden hike of the temporary graduate TR visa fees. It was doubled. It was doubled suddenly without much notice. And it's quite expensive to apply for those visas, but at the same time, there's no option but to pay those fees and apply. So see, things are getting strict, and even someone had mentioned that uh, post COVID, Australia opened the borders. Australia was like welcoming international students with open arms, and now with the huge influx of temporary residents into the country, now people are saying that Australia is trying to bring in strict measures to control the number of temporary residents in Australia, at the same time making it very difficult for temporary residents to stay longer for a longer period in Australia. Well, that is true, but again, like I said, the migration system, the skill migration, the employer sponsorship, sponsored visas are quite favorable. So you have opportunities, but again, it's getting strict. But at the same time, now New Zealand is opening up its door. The the education system in New Zealand and the post-study work visa, which many people call the TR visa, it's a good opportunity in New Zealand. And I say that because a lot of our students who are on their TR 485 visa and are not having other options to explore once their TR visas are finishing have now moved on to New Zealand. And I'm also a licensed immigration advisor of New Zealand, in case you don't know, apart from being a registered migration agent in Australia. So I can also help with PR related visas in New Zealand. So see, if Australia is getting a bit more strict on temporary residents, just hop on to New Zealand, and we're more than happy to support that.
So the next question is, what do students misunderstand the most?
A very good question. So see, let me give a few examples. Now, one example is, students sometimes feel that if your visa application is submitted earlier than somebody else, their outcome should be coming before that somebody. Now, it doesn't happen that way, because whether your application was submitted earlier, the processing takes time. And then there are different case officers handling the cases on behalf of the Department of Home Affairs. So, it's not a first come, first serve. Sometimes it's like first come, late serve, and vice versa. At the same time, sometimes you submit early, decisions come early. Now, another common misunderstanding is, sometimes there's this comparative thing that goes on. A student, for example, changing education provider. They changed the education provider. Say they were at QET, they moved on to Homes, and then they were doing Masters of Business at QET. They're taking up the similar course, Master of Business at Homes, and then they applied for their second student visa, and somebody got their visa granted, and somebody gets their visa refused. Now, the person who gets the visa refused then comes, and questions, why did my visa get refused? Because my friend had the same circumstance, did the same college change, same course, but the visa got refused. Now, that's where the biggest misunderstanding is, because it doesn't matter whether you have a similar journey or, in fact, almost the same journey. It is your genuine student requirements, the genuine intent to study, and how well your GSR statement has been written. Your circumstances will obviously be different to your colleague's circumstances in terms of social ties to your country, in terms of the economic situation. So there are so many factors beyond that, similar journey of changing the same college. I mean, changing from one college provider to another college provider, same course. So what I'm trying to get at is that you can't just compare apples to oranges. So there are so many things that need to be taken into account, and students compare just the surface level comparisons, and which is not correct, and that's the biggest misunderstanding. And while there are others, in the interest of time, I'm just going to keep it here.
Okay. So now, what if someone fails? Meaning, what if someone is taking up a unit and then they happen to fail that unit? What happens to them?
So see, I think getting used to a new education system takes time, and if you happen to get a back paper or fail a unit, I mean, if it's genuine, it's okay. It happens. At times, a few people are able to cope up with their studies, some are not. So if you do fail on genuine grounds, it's okay. And then you always have your faculty, your department backing you up, and you explain the reasons as to why that happened. So see, when you fail, you eventually get behind. And now your visa has been, granted for that specified duration, during which you have to finish your course. But if you fail on genuine grounds, it's fine. Your department or your faculty will also, give you a justification letter in terms of supporting your, people call student visa extension, which is not correct, but you need to lodge another student visa to compensate for that 6 months or 3 months or whatever time you have need as an additional thing to complete your studies. So if you fail, there's no need to panic. It happens. There's no need to stress out. The department will look at your case, and if it's on genuine grounds, it is okay. But if you like fail because you're not doing your assignments on time, you're not coming to classes on time, then department might take it as a non-genuine, uh, attempt to not fulfill the student visa conditions by maintaining active enrollment, by doing your studies on time. So, it differs. But again, if you fail on genuine grounds, it's okay. Lah. No need to panic.
So now, so on the same topic, when you are applying a new student visa, as us now, like us meaning Bhutan, as we're now a level 3 country, and many institutes require us to show financial evidence according to the document checklist. So when doing so, if you're showing too much money, is that a problem?
See, now, as per the requirements, you need to show, for example, 1 year of tuition fees, 1 year of living expenses, travel costs. So there's a benchmark set. Now, say that benchmark is $50,000. Now, most of the students, if they're coming from offshore, they avail education loan. But let's talk about students who are already in Australia and who are applying for their second visa. Now, some of them have bank balances, and some of them have uncles or parents supporting them through their bank accounts offshore, it's okay. You can mix and match. But at the same time, as per the benchmark, there's a certain threshold that you need to meet, that 1 year expenses. Now, if you show more than that in the, I mean, in such huge numbers where the department is like, why does he have so much money? For example, he needs $40,000 as the financial evidence that needs to be shown, and he shows like $60,000 or $70,000. Say he shows like $50,000 in his account, and he shows the rest in his parents' account or relatives' account. Now, in such a case, what might happen is department might question his genuine access to these funds and how he managed to mobilize such funds if it's a big number. Now, that brings us, to that important thing that if you show more than what you have, and if you are not having genuine access to that funds, if you borrowed that funds from your friends, say you borrowed somebody 10,000 from somebody, 20,000 from somebody, and just like showed up a big amount just to satisfy the department to show that you have enough money, that's something that you should not do, because it sort of rings the bell, sort of is a red flag. So don't show too much money. Even if you have too much money, say you got those money through some mean which were genuine, there's no need to show too much money. Just show the threshold. If they require 40,000, you could show like 5,000 more, like a contingency thing. So showing extra money doesn't really help your case. It might weaken your case, even if you have genuine access to that funds, because department will then want to confirm that genuine access to funds. They'll ask you for evidence, and then it's a back and forth. They'll send you a S56 notice for request for further information. So it sort of delays your processing.
So yeah, that is it for all the questions today. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys contact this number right here on the screen. It should pop up right now. And we will get back to you soon. So thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment on what kind of episodes you guys will want. What next? Like what kind of topics? And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.